I fall into a deep depression and eat my way out of it, you know? How I deal with depression is by just eating. And I just eat, and I'll gain massive amounts of weight. So I'm gonna try not to do that. But once I don't work out 3-4 days, my mood has completely changed. And I don't know, it's not like I tell myself, but I become irritable, I become moody. Somebody asks me a question, it's like, why are you asking me questions for? I go to the gym, come back, and everything is fine, you know? That's the only way. I gotta take out my demons out in the weights, the punching bag, something, you know? Demons. And then my demons have demons, so they go to like a counselor.
Hello. Jorge Masvidal is the definition of a legendary fighter. Growing up, me and my friends would pass around his bouts on YouTube, particularly the one we defeated Kimbo's protege, Ray. Through hard work and discipline, it's humbling to see the warrior he has become, one far greater than the harsh world that fostered him. His feel for both rhythm and timing are formidable. He talks about how he was born with this gift for seeing shots coming and natural aptitude for moving in or out of the way.
When the belt would come with the metal buckle and the shoes, that's the first test of the reflexes.
With it, he really found his edge, wielding boxing. Even now, to anyone who's followed Jorge throughout his journey when he's on, he looks like he can beat just about anyone, but he does have another side. His bout with Stephen Thompson, you could see him perspiring from the magnitude of his opponent alone. Clearly nervous, falling off of balance from the anxiety he was experiencing. To be fair though, Stephen Thompson has one of the hardest to gauge styles in mixed martial arts. Armed with Kempo, he's elusive, unpredictable, with a weird, unorthodox rhythm. For a fighter like Masvidal, who excels at finding the feel for his shots throughout the fight, Thompson likely could have been classified as a nightmare matchup. But now, Jorge is similar to Cowboy in the sense where they both use strong and simple fundamentals and don't like to study footage. They listen to what their coaches have to say, what to expect, then feel the fight as it progresses. But, feeling Thompson as the bout progresses, he's a puzzle that few have come to understand. But even then, I think if Masvidal came in with the same state as he did versus Darren Till, it likely would have been very different. So, what is it that keeps Jorge from climbing to the top?
Demons.
Jorge Masvidal suffers from depression. Knowing the world breaker we feel when he's feeling good, his true enemy appears to be the demons in his mind. Haunted by demons, often compensating with junk food. Imagine the strict dietary regimens these world-class athletes follow. Then imagine Jorge Masvidal, who has made it to 155 but then finds it difficult to maintain due to regular binges of McDonald's and ice cream, junk food, to compensate via fleeting stimulation for his inner turmoil.
If you asking moi, this is me right here. All day, every day. Don't ask me nothing silly about nutritional purposes, because this does everything for me right here. These won't allow you to make weight because there's too much protein in that peanut butter. Soak it in. It's only $1 for all this goodness. McDonald's really has some good American values. This is... And people always ask me, like, you really eat like that? Like, yeah, man. Everybody's always telling me, man, your most important meal of the day is breakfast, which I agree 100%. That's why I gotta be the best tasting.
It's often a double-edged sword where these individuals suffering from their own mind, that furnace haunting their present condition, refines phenomenal talent not accessible to those who simply live normal, content lives. Tyson Fury is similar in the sense where he can walk this fine line. Even one slip could completely change the outcome of a bout, but consistently he walks that thread, coming in return with his own answer. Nietzsche. There are no beautiful surfaces without terrible depths. Their ability to stay lucid, calm, disregarding the fear of getting hit, that fine line is perhaps heart of the equation to why they can cut it so close, then come about casually with their own answer. Injury, pain, or worse. What does it all mean when the voices in your mind pull you to that brink on a regular basis? Knowing this, the act of getting out of bed and competing at this tier of competition is a testament to anyone who suffers from mental health issues. The darkness that resides in Jorge, despite the misery it evokes, it has gifted him another rare talent. Jorge prefers keeping his training simple. He knows himself well enough to understand that he can't handle more than a few techniques at a time, but he compensates by always being the first one in and the last one out of the gym. Jorge Masvidal compensates for his pain by working and working and working. He drills 1,000 times per day. His mastery, the effortlessness of his technique, the simplicity of his sophistication. It is, as Miyamoto Musashi had said, 1,000 days of training to develop, 10,000 days of training to polish. You must examine this well. It's no accident that anyone paying attention notices how fundamentally sound Jorge Masvidal is. The same monsters that hold him back are the ones that kept him from leaving the gym, which in turn refined his craft. Over and over, putting his body through that furnace, it evoked a pain that matched the misery of his mind. Diligence has always been one of the tools that ever quenched the pain us mortals feel. For many great artists, this remains true. The deeper the feeling, the greater the pain. Leonardo da Vinci, one of the furthest reaching minds in human history, overcompensating through a passion, that glint of madness, losing themselves in another world. It has never been the antidote, the cure, but when you're in the desert, shriveled dry, you'll do anything for a drop of water. Relief will do. It's good to know that Jorge has been seeing a counselor, spending time in nature. His coaches emphasize his mental health, with Jorge himself stating that the world has been lifted from his shoulders. If he can do it, you can too. He looked phenomenal for Till, getting clipped with a hard shot. He's always been recognized for his unbreakable chin. I knew Till would not knock him out. The only time he was registered as a TKO was not even a TKO. He got caught and the ref jumped in instantly to stop the fight. He thought Jorge actually got hurt from that punch. Most people would have. Meanwhile, Jorge was confused, lying on the ground, clearly perfectly fine. He has a head with minimum return on investment, except maybe to just your own head. How did Till land this shot so perfectly though? It's a similar stance to Wonder Boy's, despite Till being a Muay Thai master. That bladed karate stance. When you keep your movement close to the ground, slide in. It plays a trick on depth perception, making it hard to gauge distance. The entire premise of this point style stance is to get in clean without getting hit. But if you don't have the skill to use it, or if you just happen to get caught, there is a much greater cost to its lack of defensive responsibility. The same reasons why it's harder to time against give it greater repercussions when a mistake is made. Lower hands for lower center of gravity, wider, more bladed stance, increased balance for increased movement, but cleaner entry against dome for that same reason. Till the southpaw, by the time he enters, it's too late. Till traps the lead, then peels, which maintains entry but also gauges distance. Untelegraphed punch, fired clean from his side. Because it was so close to his side, no excess movement, it was hard to see coming. He really is abusing the human eye's depth perception. Pair that with the way he covered space. By the time Jorge reacted, it was too late. This bigger man, via crisp technique, landed perfectly on chin. But the look of surprise on Jorge's face, he's perfectly lucid after virtually a perfect execution on chin. So now here, how did Jorge Masvidal land his finishing blow? Jorge was landing more as he began getting a better feel for Till's unusual style. But seeing the shots coming in, Till was barely phased, if at all. It is what they say though. It's not the shot that is the hardest, it's the shot you don't see coming. But food for thought. What if it's a wound-up haymaker of a left that you don't see coming? Let's take a closer glance. Jorge Masvidal's usual stance is orthodox, but here, he's standing southpaw. This is something Stephen Thompson does a lot. Extending his right, he shows it to Till in order to pull his attention. Magician, it was misdirection. Look at the surprise Till has in his eyes. All his focus shifted to that hand. The peripherals shrink in priority, and for the same reason magic works via misdirection, you cannot see anything else even if it is happening right in front of you. That is why Till did not react to this wound-up haymaker of a left. The shift, the step transitioning from southpaw to orthodox, not only covered distance, the momentum generated was harnessed into his fascia, which in turn slung-shot more kinetic energy into the blow. Darren Till never saw it coming due to the shrinking of his peripheral vision evoked by the feint. If he was not caught up in so much surprise from that initial shot, if he was calm and relaxed as he usually is, perhaps his biology would not have blinded him from the follow-up. Who knows? One thing I do know for sure though, there is always a cost for every advantage. And during such a big weight cut, naturally it will put a lot of stress on the body and mind. Thus, when you're pumped up with cortisol, not just from your opponent, but also the deprivation your body is experiencing, perhaps this explains why Till's peripheral vision succumbed to their natural instincts, only to have them used against him. Because, you know, Till is usually unemotional, he's usually really good at sliding out of the way of shots. In the wake of this blow, Masvidal left the entire London crowd in silence. He has a tendency of doing this, silencing an entire crowd that was once against him. But the way he carries himself, ushering nothing but love, admiration and respect to both the crowd and its opponents. I don't understand how anyone can hate Masvidal. He wins and then he doesn't say "I told you so." He picks up both his opponent and the world in front of him, then talks about how he loves his family and wants to support them. Masvidal, he will always be one of my favorite fighters regardless of what happens to him in the future, because I know where his heart is. Coming from humble beginnings, he's respectful, hardworking, but if you threaten him on live television, he makes a point to his family, his daughter, about standing up to bullying. Knowing where you come from and the level of warrior you have become, your story is not only a testament to hard work, but mental health in its entirety. Thank you, Jorge Masvidal, for this lesson. If you'd like more from me, please subscribe and hit the notifications. Thank you if you did. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.